Morning, Summer School Health. This is Mr. Schmidt with your second recorded lesson of the week. I wanted to take you guys through another one of our note guides and the PowerPoints that are associated with them. I know I posted these things for you guys, so if you've gone through it already, you're going to hear a lot of the information again, but if you haven't, this is kind of a good intro to one half of the note guides that you have to complete. So we're looking at weight control. This is going to be super important for you guys to kind of have a good handle on this for when we discuss your final project next week. All right, so let's get into this. First thing is, when we talk about a pound of body weight, we are looking at a grand total of either burning more or losing more calories in our diet. Okay, obviously our muscle will burn more calories than anything else in our body because it's a working component of our actual body. All right. If we want to lose a pound a week, we have to find a way to either consume 500 less calories a day or burn 500 more than we would eat in a given day. All right. So that means we go for an extra workout, or we get in a really good workout that burns a fair amount of calories, or you can combine the two and split it in half. Eat 250 less, burn 250 more, something along those lines. Dangerous ways to lose weight first would be diuretics, anything that pulls water out of our body. From our last recorded lesson, I talked about how water was one of the big essential nutrients that we need every single day. Our body's made up of 60 to 70% water, so pulling water out of our body, while it will dramatically change our overall body weight, it is not a healthy way for us to lose weight because it's just affecting the number on the scale, not actually affecting the number that we are carrying around when we talk about actual body mass. All right, it's a temporary thing. It also dehydrates us, which can make it dangerous. Diet pills, along the same lines, they don't necessarily pull water out of us, but they reduce our appetite, which turns off our body's need for food. When we do that, obviously we're not getting those essential nutrients that we talked about like last time. So a smart weight loss thing would be to have a plan, finding a way to break down our meals into smaller meals, or keeping with those 3 consistent ones each day, finding a way to incorporate some healthy snacking, some exercise. Making it a routine is a huge component. If we don't do something continuously day after day, it's something that over time we usually lose interest in. Fun little thing there, you can see an image of like the old school food pyramid kind of. I know I referenced that in our last lesson as well, so if you haven't seen that in a while, very similar to what the old food pyramid looked like there, the different food groups kind of collected together. Fit principle. All right, we're looking at frequency, intensity, and time, and this is directly related to the exercise we do. All right, we're looking at possibly 3 to 5 times a week. Our intensity is going to be directly related to heart rate, and we'll get to that in just a minute. And then the time, meaning how long we're going for, at least 30 minutes of some continuous activity, and that can be as simple as going for a walk, a bike ride, or doing something maybe a little bit more strenuous, where we get into like weightlifting or some athletic activities, sports, something along those lines. All right, any of that stuff obviously is something that is going to fit into that fit principle. But again, frequency, intensity, and then time are the 3 things we're looking at. So our target heart rate, and this goes back to the intensity portion of how hard are we actually working. If you take some time, you can pause this video. You should run these numbers for your actual own target heart rate zone. For those of you that are from East, you might know Mr. Simon. This is an example of him from a few years ago. All right, you can see he took, for his maximum heart rate, 220 minus his age. At the time he was 59, which gives him a maximum heart rate of 161, which means his heart should work no harder than that whenever he is working out. If it's working at 161 beats per minute or harder, possibly he can damage his heart and his cardiovascular system. All right. Now, we use a range because we base it off of our maximum heart rate to find out where we should be working to get the most out of our activity. All right. That's anywhere from 60 to 90% of that total. You can see his low end for the 60% is 97 beats per minute. and this high end is 145 beats per minute. So if he was to work anywhere from 97 beats per minute to 145 beats per minute, his body would benefit from that overall activity, and that it would be his target heart rate zone, and he would be in that. So again, take the time, run the numbers for yourself. Yours are going to be much different than Mr. Simon's, obviously, because of your overall age. As we age, we see those numbers change and fluctuate because our body doesn't need to necessarily work as hard to receive that benefit. Dangerous ways of gaining weight: binge eating, eating a lot of food at one time. We typically see this happen to us maybe around the holidays. You can think of a time where you've gone together with family or friends and you eat a lot of really good food, but you eat a lot of it, probably feel like you've eaten way too much at the end of the meal. But as long as we're not doing that on a consistent basis, it's not a bad thing. But if it is something that we're doing all the time, then it can be really bad for our overall health. Eating disorders, 2 of them here. We'll highlight these more when we get to mental and emotional health, or anorexia and bulimia. Anorexia is it's kind of its core, starvation. Eating disorder, and bulimia is where we binge eat followed by purging. So the person will eat the food to get the taste and feel full, and then they will, before their body processes it, find a way to get it back out of their system, typically in the form of puking. But again, we'll highlight these a little more in depth when we talk about mental and emotional health next, in a few weeks for our next unit. Fad diets. I'm sure you guys have heard of fad diets before. Think of a few on your own. Do a little bit of research on them if you want to. Nothing really says quick weight loss like different fad diets. But again, it's not necessarily weight loss that will stay around. And I think that wraps us up for our PowerPoint there. I want to make sure you guys had the opportunity and the exposure to this, because again, when we talk about weight loss, we're looking at a variety of different things and weight control. All right. Paired with this, you should go through the energy balance slideshow to make sure you get that information. Again, these 2 will be a huge component of your final project, which we will start on Monday of next week. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. I will see you guys for your Zoom at some point later this morning.